fall for middle managers who have been promoted. I know I'd never had any management experience, and suddenly you've got 6 guys and you're telling them what to do. And what do? You just decide to tell them what to do at every little thing. It just really pisses people off, basically.
It's the opposite case from the junior one, I guess, we were talking about. Is when you do have people who you should be trusting, get the hell out of their face.
Yeah. Do you want to go to kind of examples or insight into that?
I guess there are examples in studios where it's the divine vision carrier will micromanage an entire team, and there are studios that are sort of set up under that principle, where it's someone who has produced a hit title with a smaller team and then it's given a bigger team, and they actually go and micromanage every single person in the studio, and they do a tour during the day and they say you need to be doing this, and no one will actually make a decision in the studio until that vision carrier has said this is all right. So there's sort of like, as far as the creative thinking and the ability for the staff to do their own decision making, that gets reduced and reduced. But there are examples where hit games have come out using that methodology. Not that I sort of think it's a good way of doing it, but there are examples around where...
Yeah, there is the argument for the auteur sort of thing, the George Lucas sort of way of doing things, I guess, as well. From what I understand, the way that he does things. It's just, I don't think it's ideal. Most people are here to contribute because they want to contribute, but also you hire them because you think they can contribute something useful. And they're not just tools, they're not a tool set that you sort of unfold out of your box. They're individuals and they should be allowed to contribute, I think.
Yeah, something I've noted down here was like, don't try and use people as an extension of your own hand. If you're a lead and you find yourself leaning over, I mean, sometimes people just need direction and need to be told, that something's wrong and needs fixing, but other times leaning over their shoulder, telling them to move verts on the screen or change a colour, and just go back to your desk and do something that's more important.
You can get seniors though that have very bad time management skills, like very good at the job, but they don't know the concept of how long something takes. So how do you deal with that?
I think it needs to be like a conversation between the guy doing the task and the lead, so you can work out what optimal time is. Sometimes someone will see a task and they want to put so much work into it, but the schedule or on the higher view of the project really has to get done in a small amount of time. It doesn't have to be as complex and that's just something that the lead has to learn over time as well. Maybe as an industry going forward, people in those positions need more training, so not just go from being an artist suddenly to managing people.
Yeah, I guess there is a broader sort of subject about management in the games industry and our lack of experience and how we got to our positions and how we need to get better at that. But we're really just talking about the sort of specific problems, I guess. Did you want to jump in on that one? You're all right? Yeah. All right. Go on to this one. Talk about this one, Penny.
So I guess sort of the same sort of thing, really, not giving people a say in what they do at all. People tend to be really passionate in the games industry about what they want to work on, and have a real keen sense of things that they're really interested in. And if you let them work on those things, they put a lot more time and effort and energy into that. Obviously you can't always let people do what they want, but I think not letting them feel like they're involved in or having a choice in what they're working on or what they get to do can be a real problem.
Sometimes I find when not simple tasks. I'm working in the art department, so someone needs to make a chair. Pretty obviously how long that chair's going to take to make. We made 10 chairs before. It's a really simple kind of task. Something that's a bit more complicated that might take a number of weeks to do. I think this is coming back to the point about discussing with the actual artist for maybe the program. It's even more relevant that how long this task will take, and come to a conclusion with that guy, and they might actually get that done faster because they're invested in, they've organised with you how long it's going to take. They've got to prove that they can now get that done in that time. It doesn't always work like that, but it's definitely something you can try with people and get them more invested in the tasks they're doing.
I think there's an ongoing. I worked with a lead artist once whose attitude towards the staff was to only give tasks to people who he knew were good at that task, which it's a risk mitigation. I understand why you do that, but it also meant that over a long period of time, we developed a very specialised group of people who weren't capable of shifting around to different things, and when somebody was sick or if somebody left the company, we had a giant hole. It also left a lot of people unfulfilled because not everybody had joined to do the thing that he perceived that they were good at. And I'm not actually sure what the proper answer there is. I used to argue.
There also is that they may choose the job they want to do, but they may not be really capable of performing that job. It's a balancing act. You've got to be careful.
Yeah.
I've let people choose a task they want to do, and they've made an absolute mess of it over a long period of time, wasted a lot of resources. It's a matter of being able to recognise that early on and do something about it too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a risk. You know, it's how much risk can you really afford to take? Yeah.
I could ask then, how do you ensure that you don't instill, and posing it to you as well, Tony, and instill, you know, a sense of hypocrisy in your choices and as a manager or as a lead, if you're saying to them, look guys, choose the tasks that you want to do, and then you have a really enthusiastic junior programmer, he turns around and says, bang, you do that, and you know from past experiences that this guy isn't cut out for it, and that it could potentially do that, waste resources and valuable time. How do you then go about ensuring breaking it to them? You know, do you offer them, oh, we'll let you choose the next task, or?
We kind of touch on this later on, actually. It's a different slide, but it's about managing expectations. It's about how you present that choice in the first place, I think. But let's get to that one.
I think that's had. I mean, I've had to do that a number of times where just pull someone off a task, and you know, I know you really want to do this, but sorry, you know, something else is more important. But most of the time, people understand. You know, it's about at least doing it sometimes where you can in the production. So.
It's not necessarily just about letting them pick and choose what they want to do. I think just being involved in the process of, you know, having a say and getting to discuss what options there are and what they can potentially work on is really valuable. I've been in positions where, you know, you've just been, there's no discussion at all, and you just get given stuff to do, and it just really sucks. No, 2K.
Not at 2K, you need to enunciate.
All right.
The goal here is not to get fired. All right. Sorry, this one.
Yeah, I find that people tend to want to do what they're good at, generally. So if you can break it up into what people want to do, what they're capable of doing, you tend to get a good balance of being able to make people happy and also be productive. So.
Sometimes a balance between giving crappy jobs to the junior and taking them yourself. Sometimes being part of the management is taking away some of the crap, or sometimes it might be the technical crap that you know you're just going to get done right the first time, as opposed to giving, you know, if it's a crunch time to the stuff.
Yeah, it's finding the right level of crap to give to other people.
Yeah. And sometimes in management you get respect from your juniors, your team, by taking on some of the really crap, mundane stuff, and then maybe giving them some of the better jobs to do, just to keep them happy, like you guys were saying.
Let them concentrate on some more creative work. I agree.
Yeah. And another important one is just giving juniors a chance to express their expectations of what they want to do in the future. So even if you can't provide them the task that they want to do right now, you allow them to tell you if they want to do this future task, so you can help work with them towards that goal.
Yeah, well, and that's expectations again, I think, is such a huge thing. Like, if you can't fulfill that goal for them, you need to tell them. Like, if you know in 5 years' time they're not going to be where they think they're going to be, I think they deserve to be told that from the outset. A lot of people will probably still compromise that goal anyway, so that they can keep working with you anyway, but at least they know.
And it's also partly up to us to communicate to the junior, give them the chance to tell you what they want to do too.
Yeah. Right. This one's yours again, Tony.
Sure is. Yeah, I mean, it's just about sort of not letting people in on decisions and processes that, you know, the company is going through, and how they're going about deciding what, you know, the next project is going to be, or who's going to work on what, or, you know, even people really understanding like what the management structure is. Like, I've seen, you know, very bad cases of basically everything is just completely opaque, and you know, you just get this real division between management and everybody else. So you know, you get these decrees handed down, and you know, everyone sort of gets this, like, you know, starts grouping together, thinking about, you know, your evil kind of overlords, and you know, obviously it can't be completely transparent, but you have to, you know, bring people in on the decision-making process to a certain degree, and